War Eagle Auburn family, welcome back.
Network Live on the road. It is time to celebrate. Auburn gets the win over Ole Miss. Can't even remember the final score, to be honest with you. 31-20, I think that's what it was. It's been a whirlwind. It's been quite a day on campus, and I want to know how you're feeling right now. So this is our live reaction show where we just get together for a few minutes and just kind of spout off at the mouth about what we're thinking, what we saw, what we're feeling about the game, and especially I want to hear from all of you. So please post your comments and questions as we go throughout the stream tonight. A couple things I want to remind you of up front. I will try not to forget we got a couple of schedule updates that we need to address for those of you that are going to be watching live or on the replay. Do me also a couple of favors. Make sure you smash that like button if you enjoy this type of content. It does help push it out to others. And also share it out on social media. Want to make sure we get as many people in here as we possibly can. Goodness gracious, guys. I don't even know where to begin on this one, to be honest with you. I think this one should have been a little bit more comfortable than it was. But thankfully, we do end up with a win at the end of all of this stuff here. Corey Benson's here. Good to see you, man. You see that? Are you referring to something specifically? That was an incredible showing by the Auburn Tigers. Now, I guess the question I want to ask initially is, and I guess this is where my mind goes on these things sometimes, was Ole Miss a lot more overhyped, which was some of the things that we were saying on the preview show, or is Auburn just getting that much better? I think based off the body of work that Auburn has presented thus far, and I think based on what we've seen from Ole Miss as well, we can probably make the assumption that Auburn has gotten better. I think Ole Miss is a pretty decent team. Not a great team, but a pretty good team. And I think that's a solid win. You know, obviously when you look at the numbers of things, this is a number 18 Auburn team that upset a top 10, a number 10 Ole Miss team. So on paper, you know, that all looks great, but I guess that's where my mind goes on all this. And I don't want this to take away from celebrating the win. This is just, again, this is our reaction show, just kind of me almost vomiting at the mouth a little bit here. I think I saw Devin pop in here. Devin, good to see you. Thanks for being here. She says, War Eagle, first half was amazing. Yes, the first half was amazing. That third quarter, though, the old third quarter bug for the Auburn Tigers sneaks back in there and becomes just a little bit frustrating. Just a little bit frustrating. There were several moments where Auburn should have put this thing away and put it to bed. Honestly, real early on. And, I'm not trying to complain, just trying to go with what's on the top of my mind. Dusty's here. Good to see you, a channel member and a Booster Club member. By the way, Booster Club members, if you guys are interested in the Booster Club, there's a link in the description. You can join up for $1. Hope you guys enjoyed some of the updates that I provided you in that exclusive thing. Let me know if that was too much. If you like those type of things, I kind of went a little overboard with it today, but if you like it, we'll keep doing it. Dusty says 6 in a row on Ole Miss. Yes, keeping streaks like that alive are crucial. And very, especially, it's one thing to keep a streak alive against an Ole Miss team that's not good. But to do it against an Ole Miss team that's a good team, that says something there. And that puts more, up behind this streak continuing. Let's see. I'm on the Dusty train now. The defense is poo on a stick. I don't know that they're poo on a stick. I think that they are... our deficiencies are very obvious, but I think what we're seeing is the ability for us to adjust into more of a bend but don't break mentality. And I don't know that I necessarily like that overall, but if you never break, that's a good thing, right? Was there something specific tonight that really stuck out to you about the defense that you didn't like? Let's buy Bo a steak dinner. Yeah, Bo has time and time again proven that even despite some of his flaws that he's had and some of his, not so great games, that he is really what's kept this team alive a lot. Tonight he had a very solid game. I think I remember one drive in the third quarter where he was I felt inaccurate and making some not so great choices, but I think you're allowed that as a quarterback, especially, if you're having to run for your life. And he was having to run for his life a little bit. Second quarter, third quarter, if I remember correctly. But yes, he earned his keep tonight. Definitely was not. He was part of the solution. Dusty, glad you enjoyed all the stuff in the Booster Club there. Every team now has to train for Bo. Bend but don't break seems to be working, but man, it's hard to watch, Kevlar says. But would it be Auburn if we didn't make fans sweat? On social media, this wasn't like an exclusive post or anything like that. I posted someone today. By the way, great tailgating everywhere today. Just outstanding atmosphere here on campus. If you didn't follow along on social media, you missed out. It was outstanding atmosphere on campus today. Where was I going with that? Oh, there was a tailgate that had a skeleton set up with an Auburn hat on it, and it was an Auburn tailgate. They weren't making fun, but I kind of took a picture and I said, if this doesn't personify what it's like to be an Auburn fan, I don't know what is. It basically kills you. That's what it is. Excuse me, sorry guys. As I said, we're kind of on the road here and having to kind of do things on the fly here, so bear with me just a second while I fix my light situation that decided to slide on me and almost ruin the whole set, as it just did again. But anyway, while I awkwardly fiddle with this stuff, post some more comments and questions. Or how about this? Answer that. Who is your player of the game? For you tonight, who is the player of the game? Is it Bo? Is it somebody else? Hopefully that'll sit there now. I think that's a little too bright, but hey, we'll work with it at this point. Gave up some big plays in the second half. Yes, definitely that they playing that soft coverage, giving up too many yards. Yeah, again, I know I'm not trying to discredit the whole conversation about the whole playing soft coverage, but I think we're playing honestly to our we're trying to compensate for some deficiencies, because you've seen what happens when some of our cornerbacks get into man situations. They get beat bad. And so that's kind of what's happened here. You've got to find that balance, and I think they have at times the bend but don't break mentality. It is frustrating, though. I understand that. Clint's here, everybody. Say hi to Clint, owner of the Auburn Uniform Database. I'm sure. Here, we're gonna talk about those orange face masks in just a second, but let's catch up on some of these other things here. Glad you enjoyed the content, Corey. Glad it was good stuff. If you're not, Scotty says, if I'm not mistaken, we're the only team to hold them to 20 points. I was thinking about that on my walk back from the stadium to the car here. When's the last time they were held under a certain amount, and how often was that? And I couldn't think of something. So that says a lot here, because so we can critique the defense all we want. They gave up 20 points. I mean, that type of offense, what do you want them to do? So look, it may be frustrating. It may not be what you like, but it's clearly trending in the right direction. We got a couple Ward Dustbusters coming in here right now. Let's see. Larry says the defense won the game in the second half. Absolutely. So, I think the offense set up the beginning of the game beautifully, gave the defense great place to work from, and I think it gave them the confidence, and probably is what pushed them over the edge to be that rock in the second half. Sounds like we've got some ambulances, I did say ambulance, going by here in a second, or a police officer. So sorry for the loud noise. That may be team. I don't know. Either way. Tight ends were what stuck out to you, Brandon. Tank Bigsby and McClain. Tank was the player of the game. Corey says Tank for Larry. Bo Nix player of the game. Brandon says Tank was great, but the tight end saved it. Yeah, I think you can honestly make a lot of different cases for a lot of different players here, and I think that's a good thing. I think Zachary McClain stood out. Roger, I felt personally, from my vantage point, had another very quiet game, but again, he comes up in crucial moments. There is no more lonely place out there than Roger McCreary Island. The dude's going. I made a video this week talking about where he fell on Mel Kiper Jr.'s draft board. He's at number 19 prospect that he has on his board. If he continues on this trend, he's going to be a top 10 prospect. Doesn't mean he'll go top 10, but just in the eyes of the people that make those decisions. Larry, that's a great point. Corral, first game without a passing touchdown, which is something to really hang your hat on. Josh says, impressed with Jalen Simpson. Great pick, but got beat once, but love his surefire tackling. So that's, I think if I had to pinpoint why some of the frustrating defensive schemes and decisions are happening, I think Jalen Simpson is your perfect example. We have great talent that hasn't been able to become consistent yet. Case in point, Jalen Simpson got beat, but is able to make great plays, whether it be tackling and then obviously that interception. I felt like when I saw Corral throw that ball, that was going to be the turning point in the game. They wouldn't have gone up, obviously, because we maintained most of the game a double-digit lead on them. But no, it was an 8-point lead at that point. But I thought that was it. I really thought we were going to go downhill after that. Devin, was frustrated with the offense in the second half. Defense played well, took advantage of all those penalties. Yes. Offensive line, best all-around game. Larry, I'm glad you brought that up because this is what happens when Kyle's walking back from the stadium here, trying to, kind of process my thoughts on the offensive line because I have, frankly, been very hard on them and deservedly so, in my opinion, this year. I think this probably is up there for their best game of the season thus far. They, for the most part, I'd say 80% of the time, 85% of the time, gave Bo a decent pocket throw in decent amount of time. I also think maybe 90%. But there were some big times where they let some people through and Bo had to kind of try to do his magic thing again. In just some crucial situations, the offensive line did not create holes where we could have put this thing away. And I'm going to continue to be hard on them on that. But the progression is a good sign. They created more holes, more opportunities tonight, and exactly what I had hoped would happen. Tank got the ball, got the rock, and we kept their offense off the field as much as we could. Let's see here. So many fake injuries, Rise Life says. Yes, we did it to them as well. The Ole Miss fans started booing, and I said, why are y'all booing? You just did it too. The ambulance is going after Corral from getting beat up. He did get beat up tonight. And I don't think Corral had necessarily a bad game in my eyes, minus the pick. But he was under duress a lot of the night, which is a good thing. When the announcer said Auburn has a chance of going to the SEC Championship, it made me smile. So, well, yeah, I think we've had a chance to go for a long time. A chance. You always have an opportunity. Now, this is looking too far ahead, but next week is a very crucial week because if you win that one, you would probably be expected to win the last two SEC games. It makes the Iron Bowl pretty important, doesn't it? Let's not look too far ahead. I can't take that right now. As a reminder, if you do enjoy this type of content, please do make sure you smash that like button. Check out some of the ways that you can support in the description down below. Whether it's being a Booster Club member, you get exclusive stuff in there nobody else gets, updates and stuff. They got things all throughout campus today as I could find them to share out there. But also, you can become a channel member here. And, you can support that way. Or you can just be here and hang out with us. It's your choice. Let's see here. Let's back up just a second here, see where we were. When I thought Lane Kiffin went for it on fourth down with that 4 minutes left, I was like a boneheaded thing. Now, a lot of people were confused by why he goes for first down, on fourth down so much. He has a chart that he follows with some data and things like that say how effective it is at this point and not this point. So that is what he's really trying to do when you see him doing that so often there. Rise Life, I think the coaching is much better. Are you referring overall? Are you referring to something specifically? Harsin, Bobo, who are you referring to? I would say not that the coaching has been bad, but I think people still failed to realize the very beginning of this season you were going through a transition and turnover and everything else that came out of last season being so weird. So it's not that the coaching was bad, you're getting through that transition period. And it doesn't mean we've arrived. I don't think we have. But we certainly are trending in the right direction. Larry says, who would have bet on us winning when having 2 turnovers and only scoring 3 points in the second half? Well, if that interception doesn't happen by Jalen Simpson, and if I think if Lane didn't take so many chances earlier in the game, this probably is a different story. If he had just taken some points in some certain areas, probably a much different game. Josh is about to go to the Waffle House, ironically. I'm sure Gus appreciates that. Lane Kiffin was the problem in this game. Yes, it was the coaching. Corey's asking, are we doing... Okay, I can... quick aside here. I know we'll get back to the regular content here. But since Corey asked. So I will be gone Monday through basically effectively Thursday. And, maybe I'll be out of commission until Friday evening or something like that. But I will be gone most of this week. Typically, we do a Monday night live stream at 8 p.m. and a Wednesday night live stream at 8 p.m. Those are not happening as of this moment. I'm working on potentially trying to get someone to maybe step in. Don't know that will happen. Stay tuned, though. My hope is to have at least one live stream sometime tomorrow. I'm thinking evening time before I go away for the weekend. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, you need to do that. Have the notification bell so you know when we go live. Plainsman Murph, channel member, thanks for being here. SEC is going to have to address the player injury issues, maybe try holding them out for the rest of the series versus the next play. That's a great point, and we talked a lot about that, the people I was sitting around, and I think 3 plays, which would be considered a first down opportunity, is enough to maybe send that message and say, you got to quit this, and deter some of this stuff. But as long as they're going to let both sides do it, yeah, it's frustrating, but at least let them do it. Back it up. Ole Miss coaching was really bad. If I was a fan of them, I would blame Lane. I think they're used to it, honestly. I don't watch Lane Kiffin enough to know if this was a bad night for him. He seemed very frustrated with Corral, so I think they and the offense weren't on the same page tonight, it seemed like at times. Was good to see Tank getting going this week, and that's what I was really, really hoping for. Rise Life, I really like Mike Bobo. He's a very conservative when PlayCon. Do you mean that seriously, or do you mean that in jest? And Josh brings up the biggest point. And if y'all haven't addressed this tonight, yeah, we got a top 10 win. Yeah, we're still in the hunt for the SEC West and the SEC. But we're bowl eligible. First year under Coach Harsin. Not that I don't think most people were surprised that happened. But I think that's a nice feather in his cap. So he breaks the streak at LSU. He has won a top 10 matchup. And he has an opportunity to go do it on the road again. Because Texas A&M, where are they at? I forget where they're at. Just a little bit below us. So they might be top 10 by then. Someone correct me on that. You love the run calls. It looks way better and more open up the middle, Rise Life said. Lane must have attended the Ed Orgeron School of Coaching. I think Ed Orgeron is going to be like the whipping boy of everybody now in the SEC. Lane has too much invested in only one quarterback. If Corral gets hurt, Mississippi is dead in the water. Yeah, I thought he was really bad hurt. Because from my vantage point, it looked like he really hurt his ankle up in the stands. But, obviously he came back in and is the reason they stayed in the game. 20 points is the lowest total for Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. So, for those of you that are upset about the, defense, you got to give them credit. The stat is placed right there. Doesn't mean we have to be happy and still see there's things still to work on. But you got to give them credit where credit is due. You could tell the DBs understood playing zone better tonight. 2 cross plays got us. Really kept everything in front of us, and it's part of that bend don't break mentality. I think Auburn, hopefully, after this year, and if Derek Mason stays around, the bend but don't break becomes less and less and less. It becomes a less of a bend, and which means you have less opportunity to break too. It'll get there. Thomas, I appreciate the kind words, sir. I love doing this stuff. I am tired, but I love doing this stuff, so I'm glad that you enjoy it. And your comments like that, they give me energy and drive to continue to do this stuff for you guys. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. We'll stay on for just a few more minutes here. An even better feather in his cap would be to win out his first year. Absolutely it would. No one's sitting here saying it would be awesome to do that. But I would not count on that. If we can get past the Texas A&M bugaboo, and I know some of y'all are very low on Texas A&M, there's something about this year for them that they're so streaky you can't figure them out. Rise Life, we exceeded our prediction. That's all that matters for a first-year coach. I don't know that you have to exceed expectations as a first year. I think that's what everybody wants, and people are unrealistic expect. But I think what you've seen out of Harsin are the struggles were made very clear, where corrections were made. Some we didn't agree with at the time, but they clearly are trending. The main theme that I guess I'm trying to get across, the trend is in the right direction, right? And that's exactly what you want to be. You don't want to be doing this. You want to be at least at some point kind of trending upward a little bit. And I think tonight we kind of ticked that up another level, kind of another elevation. Josh, it's November. We're still in the hunt. Couldn't ask for more from a first-year head coach. 4th down stops were huge. Absolutely. Yeah, great point there, Devin. Really, I don't know who all was there tonight. This was awesome. I talked a lot about campus being awesome today. Tailgate. I got invited to a tailgate. Had outstanding food. It's don't go bull rush them if you want, but I also want to stress that they have great food at the Tiger Walk tailgate. It's the people that do the banner. Great food there. It was outstanding. I'm so happy that they invited me over there for lunch. Let's see here. Was it cold out there? It was here. So it was interesting. The wind earlier in the day was very chilling, and I was in shorts, and if that had happened at night, I would have died. It was weird. I think people probably in the bowl were probably colder because there was this mist throughout the entire game, and I think it settled on them and kind of wafted over us and onto them. So I think they were colder than we were even up higher. But it felt like football weather, and it felt just right. It was cold. I mean, it was cold, but not unbearably cold. Braves up 3-0. Sorry if you're not a Braves fan. War Eagle Phillip, good to see you. Playing Texas anyways, that's a good omen. It is. The trend is that the away team wins, but we broke that a little while back. Atmosphere, incredible. I've been there since I haven't. I don't think I've been there since we've done the new light thing, but when they get that going, the students, this student body this year has really bought into the idea of getting loud. And not that they don't. Sorry, I was looking to see if I had to get out of the way of somebody because there's people trying to get in and out. But they are amped to be there and stay there. To their credit, almost a little too much because they need to remember to quiet it down just a little bit. But yeah. Well, quiet it down when we're on offense, not overall. All right, we'll do a couple more questions here. I know a lot of you are probably going to bed. It's really late. Thomas, let's see. Dusty, good night, my man. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being here tonight. The only bad thing about Bo this game was the long throw in the middle. He missed to the tight end. Yes. I wouldn't say that's the only thing. I think that was that same drive. There was the one drive that was I would have put in his corner and saying, you mismanaged that one, buddy, just from my vantage point up there. Grew up around too many FSU fans, refused to do the chop. I understand. War Eagle, Kevin, War Eagle, man. All right. Last minute comments, questions, derogatory rebuttal, please. I know this is kind of a hodgepodge one and a little bit kind of out there, but I appreciate you all being here so much. A couple reminders again. No regularly scheduled program this week, but please stay tuned. I will get as much out to you as I can, but we will be out of town. Just you can't really expect a whole lot this week. Also, lots of podcasts and stuff still coming out. That'll come out on a regular basis and things like that. Check out links in the description for ways to help support us. Smash that like button if you enjoy this type of stuff, and we always appreciate it. Thomas says, glad to admit I was wrong. Hashtag E2C for life. Love it, man. Clint, I am going to bed when I get home, and got to do that tonight. Bo was sharp and accurate. Played big boy ball. Yes. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for the safe travel wishes here. Ole Miss averaged 255 rushing. We held them to 150. That's a big thing right there. I think, obviously they're a more passing-driven offense, but at the same time, they need that at least somewhat productive of a run game, and when we kind of took that away from them, really set them down. All right, guys, thank y'all so much. Again, reminder, stay tuned all week, just in case we can get some streams or content out to you. But I can't promise really anything this week. But thank you guys for your support, whether that be smashing the like button, whether that be being a Booster Club member or a channel member, or just being here and hanging out with me and talking some Auburn stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you. War Eagle, go Braves, and let's go beat Texas A&M next week.